Let's talk about the race time equivalents that you can get from the McMillan running calculator. Now, once you input your information into the calculator, you'll land on the Race Times tab. If you scroll down, you'll see two sets of equivalent performances. One is labeled current times and one is labeled goal times. On larger screens, these are side by side. On smaller screens, they're stacked, one on top of the other. Essentially, what this does is allow you to predict what you could run at another distance based on a recent performance. So for example, our runner Suzanne just ran a 10K in 49 minutes and 26 seconds. So if she were going to run a 5K, she would know her best pacing would probably be something around 7 minutes and 40 seconds per mile for a finish time of just under 24 minutes. So it's a great way to use this that you can, if you have an upcoming race, you can look and see what's the equivalent performance based on a recent race time. It helps you with your race pacing. Now for Suzanne, she has a goal, so if we remember, we have another set of equivalent performances. She has a goal time of running 1 hour and 45 minutes for the half marathon, which is 8:01, 8 minutes and 1 second per mile. So we can also use this feature to show if she wants to get into that kind of shape, because right now she's in 1 hour and 50 minute half marathon shape. She needs to get her 10K down to right around 47 minutes. This would predict that running 1 hour and 45 minutes would be very doable. So that's another way to use this feature, is look at what your goal is. What do you need to run at other distances in order to show you're ready to perform at that level? Now there's a few assumptions in this calculation, and so I invite you to click on the coach's notes here and read all the different sort of assumptions that go into getting these numbers. But as you might expect, race distances that are closer to one another are more predictive than ones that are far apart. So for example, if you run a 10K, that's more predictive of a 5K than it is of a mile, and certainly more predictive than a 100-mile. This also assumes that you're ready for that race, that you're prepared. So if you've been training for the mile for a long time, that will not exactly predict your 100-mile time unless you're prepared for an ultra marathon. I think that just makes sense. So it's a great tool to use. And you can obviously use the toggle at the top to switch back and forth to see the paces in kilometers, minutes per kilometer, as opposed to minutes per mile. And then also for coaches or sort of scientifically oriented runners, I've listed your velocity at lactate threshold and your velocity at VO2 max. Some training plans are based off of those numbers, so I wanted to provide that to coaches and self-coach runners. So that's the Race Times tab. Great information that you can use to predict performance for an upcoming race based on something you've just done, and then if you're looking ahead at your goal, see what kind of shape you need to get in at certain distances to predict your performance at that particular distance. So have fun, and I'll talk to you soon.